Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Beck. I'm head of Year 11 at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman, and I'm the teacher in charge of the Parental Involvement Programme. And today I'd like to talk to you about how we use data to ensure academic success at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman. Now, as head of Year 11, the data that I get from members of staff, I will use to help pupils to ensure that they have success and that they can then go on to a future pathway. Okay, so recently, you would have heard the announcement from Kirsty Williams. Now, we are still awaiting for the finer details from the announcements of Kirsty Williams. Kirsty Williams and the Welsh Government announced that Year 11 will not be having final exams next summer, as in traditional GCSE exams, but will be having assessments, which will be in class. Currently, as I said, we are waiting to find out what that actually means. And hopefully in January, we'll have some more information, which we'll be able to share with you. At the moment, it's just a case of carry on as normal. Let's try and get through the syllabus with our pupils and try to push them as though they were having exams. And then we can really focus in then on January on the requirements that the government set for us. So what is our data tracking and how do we collect data and how do we use it? Well, throughout the year, staff will set predictions and targets for all pupils in all subjects. So for Year 11, there's 3 to 4 tracks during the year. And these predictions and targets are shared with staff, parents and pupils with the aim to have a transparent indication of where your child, where the pupils are. So after each track, myself, as a head of year, I would sit down with that data, and I'm sure all the heads of year do this, sit down with the data, they look at the data and they find out which pupils are underachieving or which pupils need some support. And we would form mentoring groups. Now, in Year 11, we have our team of form teachers, are science teachers, Welsh teachers, English teachers, and math teachers, their core subjects. And they're there in the morning to provide them with help and support in the core subjects. So just before half term, track 1 was issued to parents via SIMS. Pupils have received the tracks during form time and have had a chance to look at them and discuss them. Now, I think it's really important to look at the terminology that we use when we discuss a track. Okay, so first of all, it's the target level or the target grade. There is a subtle difference between a predicted grade and a target grade. Okay, so a target grade for an individual is a level or grade that is the best that the pupil can achieve, provided that they make good effort to do so. It's derived first and foremost by the teacher's own professional judgment. This judgment must be informed by data on both the pupil's prior achievement and also on their future potential. So this for us is the best case scenario. Okay, it's achievable, but it requires the pupil to be doing everything that they should be doing. So working to 100% of working with 100% effort, and making use of the school to the best of their capabilities. Now, a predicted grade is the level of grade that the teacher, based on reliable data and evidence of pupil progress and effort, believes that the pupil will go on to achieve at the end of key stage if their current effort and focus continues. Okay, so a predicted grade is, if they keep working like this, what grade will they get? So we think you're good enough to get a B, but currently you're underachieving and you're not working well in tests. You might not be completing all classwork. So at the moment, we think if you can continue like this, you'll get a C rather than a B. Okay, so that people would be underachieving, and the member of staff would also then let us know the reason why the pupil is underachieving in that subject. So this is a copy of the typical report that we would send out. The first page talks about attendance and the importance of it. And then the second page is where all the key information is at. So the subjects, their target grade, which again, the target grade is looked at the start of every year. So we looked at it at the start of year 10, we looked at it at the start of year 11, we reassessed it to make sure that they were correct. Okay, and then we have the predicted grade. So the document that you can see in front, there are 7 red subjects. So that means that pupils underachieving in 7 subjects. Now, it may be that pupil is getting enough C grades to get into college or sixth form. But what is important, that pupil is not achieving their potential and could work better. Okay. So this is my kind of version of the data. So this is what I see Okay, and so we can see here's the target grade. So for art, we think this pupil is going to achieve is good enough to achieve a C grade. And that in art, that pupil is doing everything that they can to meet that, okay, and is getting a C grade. Now in biology, the teacher felt that the C grade was the correct grade for that pupil, but actually test data, effort in class is now suggesting that the pupil is exceeding their target and is getting a B. On the flip side, we have the English subject, okay, so English language. The pupil there, we think, is good enough to get that magical and coveted C grade, but actually is 2 grades below and coming in at an E, okay? So as a head of year, that would be a concern for me. And when I look at the reason why the English department has said that pupils underachieving is attitude and effort, okay? So for this person, they're achieving 5 or more GCSEs, but not achieving an English qualification, okay? That, for me, would be a concern. And that person would be certainly be looking at and mentored by some of the members of staff in my team, especially more unlikely the English form teachers will be looking to help that and support that pupil. So what do year 11 pupils need or require when they leave Ysgol Dyffryn Aman? What are the aims? Well, the best and the top aim is to have 5 A-star to C, including maths or numeracy or English Lit and Lang or Welsh First Language. With 5 A-stars to C, in 5 A-stars to C and with the core subjects, this is going to give the people a really good chance of getting into a college course, getting into sixth form or the world of work. It's been a measure since I was in school, and I can't see it going away. Employers believe with this type of qualification that they have literate and numerate employees, okay, and that's what we require for sixth form as well. So, for example, if your son or daughter didn't get that maths qualification but did get 5 A-star to C, okay, then it's not the end of the world. They could go on to college or sixth form and resit the course that they didn't get the C grade in, but it would mean that not all subjects not all courses would be accessible in year 12 and 13. And so for some pupils, the 5 A-star to G will be the aim, and that will allow them to get into college. It won't allow them to do the level 3 courses probably, but there will be courses there for pupils who get 5 A-star to G. We also look at 5 A-star to A grades. These are our pupils that we would like to be considering pushing for the top universities and getting the top grades at A level. We also look at something called the CAP 9. So this is not just the 5 subjects, but looking at the 9 best subjects. And for me, this is a really important, really important for pupils and for the school, because it is, yes, having 5 good GCSEs is important, but having 9 shows that it's not just really the core subjects that we're focusing on, okay? It also says that, do you know what? If you can see, a D grade to C grade is a difference of 6, but a G grade to F grade is a difference of 6. And it shows that moving up a grade, whatever that grade is, it really does make a difference. So a E to D is just as important as a D to C, okay? Now, when I was in school, the type of curriculum that I had the chance of studying was quite small. Now, nowadays, pupils have a really large curriculum that they have to choose from. And I know if you've been to our Year 9 pathway meeting evenings, you would have seen the type of courses that are accessible to your children. Now, just in core subjects alone, all pupils would study maths and numeracy. All pupils would study English language. Some would also study English literature, the majority actually. We have Welsh First Language is a core subject. We also have Welsh Second Language as well being run at school. Some pupils go on to sit Welsh Literature GCSE. And in science, we have a number of different courses in science. We have single, applied, double award, and then the separate sciences like triple science. Okay, so a GCSE in physics, a GCSE in biology, and a GCSE in chemistry. I think that some pupils here will have altogether about 9 different subjects with just the core subjects. Okay, 9 different qualifications. We also run at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman your more traditional style GCSEs. So we have PE, French, German, history, RE, etc. Okay, this isn't an exhaustive list. It changes year after year depending on staff and what we can, and what we have the provision for. But there's also some courses that get run during lunch times, like geography, Latin, Russian, and the classics, which are extracurricular. Okay, and allow people to broaden their horizons as well. On top of that, we are very proud at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman of our vocational subjects. For me, as a head of year 11, some of these are fantastic courses. They give pupils huge choice when they leave school. For example, if I take engineering is equivalent to 2 C grades. If I look at Princess Trust, that's equivalent to 2 B grades. There's no exams in both of them subjects, which means that pupils can pass them subjects and get 2 really good qualifications by working hard in school and meeting deadlines. Okay, so we also have our courses which are run by external agencies, so the college courses, so for year 11, it's on a Tuesday afternoon, and year 10, it's on a Wednesday afternoon. So the construction, the car mechanics, and the salon services. We also have, for some people, entry-level courses, certainly in the core subjects, okay, and that should allow us all pupils in year 11, okay, to walk away with at least 5 GCSEs, okay. Now, once I get this data, and I said, we look at all the subjects that the pupils are studying. And once I get this data, I would sit down with the team and we say, right, which pupils do we need to look at? So I know letters were sent out recently to year 11 parents saying that your son or daughter are on the intervention list and going to be mentored by a member of staff. So there's no names on this document, but if you can see, the top pupil is getting 5 or more GCSEs, but is not achieving mathematics. Now, for me, that means that they could potentially they need that mathematics to get the kind of the top level 2I, the top kind of measure. So getting 5 GCSEs, including core subjects, but they're not achieving maths. Okay, so for me, I would then look at the 2 teachers or 3 teachers I have in my team in year 11 to mentor that pupil, to provide extra support to that pupil, and try to get them past that up to from that D or E to a C grade. Okay, we have some pupils, if you can see the purple column. The purple column is the one that I know Miss Edwards and Mrs. Ramon Thomas are looking at currently. That's pupils who are going to get the 8 C pluses and in the core subjects. So they are going to get the level 2I. They're going to get enough. They're going to get the best type of qualifications, and they'll be allowed to come back to sixth form. But what we find with these pupils, where they should be aiming for A's and A stars, quite often they'll walk away with 8 or 9 C's and B's, which is great. But then when they're asking to do certain subjects which require A grades, they're not able to. So when they do come back to sixth form, because they're getting B's and C's, some of the courses won't be accessible to them. So the idea is to push these pupils, because they're coming in at 8 C pluses, but they're underachieving in 4 more subjects, which suggests that them C's and B's can be turned into A's and A stars with support. Now, before half term, all pupils in year 11, this was explained to pupils in year 11, the significance of the year and what is expected of them. We talk a great deal in year 11 about future pathways. So we have external speakers from the world of work, from the likes of Kavla, Tata Steel, Howell Dda. Okay, we also have the sixth form team to come in to speak to pupils during the year as well. We also have the colleges to come in and to explain the type of courses that they run. Of course, at the moment we are in a pandemic, and it's a little bit more challenging. But we are still running these meetings. We are having videos created by the World of Work, and we're also having guest speakers that to stream into school as well to speak live. Okay, and pupils were shown these slides like you have been shown today, talking about the expectation of trying to get 5 or more GCSE C plus with maths and English. And if that's not accessible, what is the chance? And if you do get these qualifications, where can you go? We have a careers advisor in school. She will meet with all pupils and talk about the suitable pathways as well. And what we're hoping is that we can support our pupils and push and drive them so that they can either come back to our sixth form, go to college, or go to the world of work with the qualifications that they need. Okay, now, I hope that's been helpful. I hope that makes sense. I think the main part for me, which I'd like parents to understand today, is the difference between a target grade and a predicted grade. A target grade is the best grade that we think that people can get, and a predicted grade is the grade that we think that at the moment they are currently on. Now, if you have any questions regarding today's session, please contact the school and we will endeavour to answer any questions. Many thanks and take care.